Just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar, brought to you, powered by Bloke Beer. Go to your local, grab a case. That's what we can get great guests on, like John Sutton, who is with me right now. How you going, Sutto? Very nice to have you on here.
No, cheers. Thanks for having us on.
Mate, we were just talking SG Ball. You're going to be the coach of SG Ball this coming year, 2022?
Yeah, it's first head coaching gig, and a bit nervous about it, but looking forward to it. Met the boys last week and seemed like a good bunch of lads. So, we start training next week and get into it.
What's it like? I always, whenever I see the younger fellas coming into first grade or whatever, it takes me back to the days when I was a young fella, like all the nerves, all the hope, the like thinking in your head of the career you may have kind of thing. What's it like seeing the young fellas? Because that's even younger, you know, that's not just first grade, that's like the young fellas. What's it like seeing those boys all come together?
Yeah, it's cool. I think because I came through the same system, and it's good to give back and, you know, see players progress through the grades, and that's what I hopefully can do for the SG Ball lads. See them, you know, go to flag, go to reserve grade, and you know, hopefully play NRL one day. So that's what it's all about for me.
Yep. And you were saying that this year, Sloan and Armone from the Dragons, who played NRL and impacted NRL, they didn't just like make the numbers up. They played well in NRL. Came back and played your SG Ball side this year. It was just killing it. Yeah,
so I think it was the game to get into the prelim. We come up against the Dragons, and we haven't seen, I don't think, Terrell or what's the Sixers? Armone. I don't think they played SG Ball much that year, and they came back and tore shreds off us and put 40 on us, and our season was over after that. But you know, two very talented blokes coming back, and you know, they did what they had to do.
You know, I mean, the good thing is for your lads is you can say to them, well, that's where you need to be at. That's where you got to get to. If you want to play NRL, you want to be going at least close to what they're doing. I mean, I know they did really well when they got in NRL, but what's it's like? I mean, you know, you're obviously a club legend, and you saw the boys get to the grand final, fall at the last hurdle. What's it been like since? Or was it like as an ex-player being so proud of the boys, but also being so disappointed that they got so close?
Yeah, obviously they had an awesome year. I think you know, to make it that far after everyone was writing us off, you know, we had two 50-point losses during the season, and everyone was saying, "Oh, they can't do it." Then we lost Latrell towards the back end, and you know, Taffy jumped in there, and it was just awesome to see him, you know, in the grand final again. And even though they didn't win, they, you know, everyone's so proud of them and what they did. So I think you know, new year next year, and you know, we've got some good young players coming through. So I'm very excited to see what they can do.
It's mate, it was a wild ride, because you're right. That's 2 50-point losses, and everyone wrote you off. I can gladly say I didn't. I said, if Wayne's your head coach, anything can happen. But I will put my hand up and say, when Latrell went down, I said, no, I just can't. I can't see him without Trell. He's so important to that team, and with Cody Walker and just his ability to break games open out of nowhere. But he's like proved everyone. What was it? Because you were in camp with the boys.
So when they first went to Queensland, they only had 10 staff spots, and I was out of that 10.
Yeah, you didn't make the side, bros.
I didn't make the side. I was. You know, it was a long way out, and I thought I was a chance of getting up there. Yeah. So I wasn't too worried, but as the weeks rolled on, and you know, coming close to the finals, I was realising that I wasn't a chance of getting up there, and it was hard to see the boys playing each week, because I've been at every game since, you know, I was 19. You know, playing and then going to the coaching staff, and then. Now I was sitting at home with my kids watching the footy, but
was it weird?
It was so weird. Yeah, it was very weird. It was hard in the semis. Yeah, it was hard to sit there, and got my son jumping around the house, and I'm just trying to concentrate on watching the game. But it was a little bit tough, but it is what it is. And would have loved to have been up there for the grand final. And I actually spoke to Russ, he was trying to get me up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
the big dog has pulled.
The big dog. He tried to pull a few strings, but he couldn't get it done. And, to watch a grand final, at home and not being up there was a bit weird.
Yeah, especially like as you said, you've been at every game pretty much since you were 19 years old, and then they make the big dance, which is such a hard thing to do, and you don't get to experience it. Did you speak to any of the boys before the grand final or anything on the phone, or not really, because they're all in their own little bubble?
Yeah, well, I don't like punishing them.
Yeah.
Obviously they've got jobs to do, but always text them. Mainly Cody and Rennie. Cody and Ren.
Yep.
And see where the team's at and stuff like that. But I'm a pretty quiet guy. I don't like to punish boys. And
it's a weird sometimes I think fans just think that like ex-players, especially ones like yourself, are like constantly in contact and that, but you don't want to be that ex-player that's like still hanging on and like fucking being, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to be in their face. That's their time.
Yeah, well, obviously they get punished by everyone else.
Yep.
Not punished, but they've got a lot of stuff on their minds.
Yeah.
Dealing with and I just didn't want to be that bloke that rings them every day saying, "Oh, how we going?
This is what you're gonna
do. Who are we going to attack? Like where are we going? Like and all that stuff." So
you're right, because they're like, "Bro, I just spent a fucking 2-hour video session talking about this shit." But yeah, take us back to a young fella. Obviously, born 5th of November 1984. So you grew up in, did you say La Perouse?
So I lived in La Perouse.
Yep.
Till I was about 7 or 8. I played for La Perouse for a couple of years, and then we folded. So I had to find another team, and lucky enough, a friend was with the Matours and jumped to Kensington.
Oh, really?
I played footy with Rennie's younger brother, Leiden, and we had some good years there. We won 10 years in a row.
No way.
Yeah.
So from what age group? Like
sevens to 16s.
Holy, 10 years in a row. That's got to be a record, surely.
Well, I think Keon keeps telling me that his mascot side won 11 or 12.
Oh, Porky's. Fuck off, Keon.
Yeah. He played with Cam, so I'm sort of thinking, well,
maybe.
If they're both in the side,
that's G up. I'm going to say that's GST. I reckon maybe 5 or 6, and he's just added a bit of GST. And, so you grew up essentially from 7s onwards. You're playing with Rennie Matua.
Rennie's younger brother, Leiden.
Rennie's younger brother.
Leiden's Rennie's a couple of years older than me.
Yep.
And I played with Leiden.
Yep.
And
was there any other NRL players in your team? Or
there was Damon Alitova. You probably wouldn't remember. He played 3 or 4 first grade games back in 2003, I think 2004, and he was the gun. He was, he was one of those players where, on the little fields, you kick off and you'll be able to kick it dead every time.
Oh, really?
And you get the ball back.
Yeah.
And then we, wouldn't let teams actually get the ball. We'd just keep on scoring tries. And
10 years, bro.
Yeah.
Holy
10 years straight.
Shit. Was there?
Well, that's all. As a young bloke, that's all I knew. We just used to win.
Mate, that's wild. 10 years. Well, were parents complaining in that? Like, I'm sure there was some parents complaining on the other sides, going, this is bullshit, and like they've got to disperse the team, or not really. They just copped it.
I think just copped it. One of my good mates used to play for South East, and he used to tell me they used to keep some lollies in their socks, so when they're standing under the goal post,
they could. Talk about preparing to lose. It's like, fuck it. That's wild. Fuck it. Gun side. Okay, so what position were you playing? Obviously under 7s and that doesn't matter, but as you got a little bit older, closer to the 16 and that, what position were you playing?
I played centre. I had a bit of toe when I was younger, and 16, you go for those growth spurts, and I had some bad knees at Oshkosh Lattice or whatever it's called. That really hampered my running. So
get you into the forwards, mate.
Yeah, I started moving. I moved to 5'8", where I just did a lot of, dishing off.
Yep.
Yeah.
So. It's always a go, as they get a bit bigger, move in the middle. So growing up, was it? What was it? Was it? Were you? Did you go to school a lot, or did you just focus on footy, or did you enjoy school, or was it? Because like a lot of players. I think it's changed now, but when we were kind of growing up, it was like if you love sport, that's just all you focused on. What was it like for you?
So I went to Marsden College from year 7, 8, and 9, and to be honest, I didn't really like school.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get out of there, and I tried to get into South Sydney High where my sister is at, but I couldn't get in, so I had to go to JJ Carl just up the road here. and I spent year 10 there. The music teacher was a surfer, so I used to get, me and a couple other boys used to go surfing a lot. But again, didn't like school, so I dropped out. And then I started working with my old man. He was a scaffolder. Done a lot of, not a lot, I did probably like 8 to 10 weeks of scaffold and made a bit of coin, and I just sort of went, I'm having the summer off. So I just cruised. And then school came around year 11, and I went back to school. School tried to anyway, and dropped out again. So after that, I you know, as a young fella, you like to party, hang out with your friends and stuff. And but my dad got me a job at Mitre 10 just up the road here. And I started Monday morning, and had a big weekend. Lied in bed all day Monday. And Dad came home and he's like, "Did you go to that job?" And I said, "No, Dad, I haven't got out of bed." And my dad's, you know, a really quiet sort of guy and doesn't really get angry with me. He lost it. He wanted me out of the house, and my mum was like, "He's not going, blah, blah, blah." And it was just like, oh, shit. So I think that at that point I realised I've got to do something. And, you know, footy was, you know, probably the way to go. So, I knuckled down with footy and, you know, trained really hard, got in like all the teams at South. And, before I knew it, I was playing first grade at 19. So.
Wow. So had you, at that stage, had you made New South Wales or anything like that, or just the South system?
Yeah, so because I wasn't really at school, I didn't really make any of the rep sides. So I just, you know, had my pathway was through South. And that's the way I got to first grade.
Far out. Okay, so was there any other clubs interested in you, or was it because you were so deeply ingrained in the South systems, you kind of just, that's the way I want to go? Or
I think the Dragons were keen. But you know, growing up in the area, I didn't really want to go anywhere, so it was a very easy decision for me to stay at South.
Did it affect you much when because you know, you debuted 2004, they got taken out of the comp 2000? Did that affect you at all? Because that's when you were like 15, 16?
Yeah, not really, because they had to still all the SG Ball mats and flag. They all had that, and that's when I was at that age, so it didn't really affect me. And then, you know,
did it worry you though, like thinking, oh fuck, like the team that I go for and love is out, or not really?
Yeah, I was off it. They were out of the comp, but like growing up, really, like I love footy, but I wasn't fully into it. You know, I love to surf. And all I really wanted to do was surf. So, but yeah, like very happy that I got back in the comp and I was able to go through.
So, at what point do you remember the first grade contract you got, or the first session that you went to, or one of the first ones where you're like, wow, this is first grade?
Well, to be honest, back then the system wasn't as great coming into first grade. Obviously, we just got back in, and probably, you know, the strength of the squad wasn't really there. But you know, for me, when I got in there, I was just happy to be around the boys, and you know, played a bit of first division in 2004, and then was lucky enough to go up for the last 10 games, play first grade. So after that, I you know, signed my first, you know, decent contract when I was 2005, and we just went from there. But you know, obviously I played a few games at the start of the season, and I ran into Jason Croker. He got me with an elbow and dislocated my sternum. Oh, fuck. So I was lying on the ground just on my back, and he's like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "No." And they had to cut my jersey off and everything because I just had a big hole in my chest, sort of thing.
Oh,
it was it was
scary?
it was at the time, because I went to the specialist and they said they've only seen this sort of injury when a cupboard or something has fell on someone.
Oh, wow.
You know, and then it was weird because he said if it doesn't go back into place, you have to get like a metal plate, you know, sort of to put it back to place. And, you know, if I got that, I probably wouldn't have been able to play football after that. But
100%.
that next 2 weeks were tough. It was just like getting in and out of bed sort of thing, just like screaming. And but you know, eventually went back in, and I missed about 6 or 8 weeks, and then I got to play the rest of the year
Far out. That's like, I reckon your first like impact injury like that is really scary. I remember when I snapped a few ribs and my lung collapsed. It's like you used to think you're invincible, and then that happens, and you're like, "Fuck, I'm not like shit can happen to me."
Yeah.
When you're a kid, you're just wild. You don't care. So, do you remember your debut? How did it? Like, do you remember the phone call or just running out or anything like that?
Yeah. So Arthur Katinas took over.
Yep.
I think Laymack got the sack, and he took over, and he was coaching me in the reserves, and a spot opened up in the centres, and he called me up, and I was so excited.
Yeah.
But I got home from training, my parents already knew. It was like,
What, really?
Yeah.
So they called him or something?
I don't know what happened. They must have seen it in the
Okay.
when they named the team sheet.
Yep.
And so I was super excited. It was against Brisbane up there.
Yep.
So they flew my parents up, which was great.
Yeah.
The game wasn't too great actually. It was Petro, Gordon
This
Tallis,
is prime Broncos. Yeah.
Lockyer.
Hodjo. Hodjo would have been probably at Roosters, but they had a gun side.
The grouse team. And,
Yep.
we're getting flogged, but I managed to score a try with about 10 to go. Ashley Harrison put me over in the corner. I was stoked.
Far out. What's that feeling like? Obviously Suncorp was there by then.
Yeah.
You go over in Suncorp and that's like packed. What's that feeling like?
Oh, it was awesome. Look, and being one of the boys from Namarubra, for up the Bra boys, for all the boys, and it was the
boys would have loved that.
Yeah, it was great.
How good is that? So you debuted 2004. 2005, you continue playing 19 matches. You score 4 tries, 7 goals, a goal kicker. But you also play for Prime Ministers in Papua New Guinea. What was that experience like playing over in Papua New Guinea? Got the Australian jersey on.
Oh, that was the best.
Yeah,
that was. We had a really good team too.
Yeah,
just Craig Gow was my roomie. Finchy was in the team.
The great Finch man.
Yeah. Rennie, Luke Ricketson. It was just. It was an awesome experience. Obviously, I was only in the league a couple of years, and my dad flew over, come watch the game. The night we got into camp, we went out, and it was just mad being around the boys and having a good crack. And I tell you, the next morning we were about to get on the bus, and I was so just still pissed. Yeah. Sitting next to Big Mao, the coach.
Oh no.
And, I just remember Rennie used to tell me, I had the big plate of bacon and I was just sitting next to Mao, just like hammering it, just looking at me going, what's he doing?
And you're just smelling like piss.
Just hammering bacon in front of him, just like literally just throwing it in my mouth.
Yeah.
So, but it was good times. It was a great trip. It was an awesome game.
Yep.
Field was they tackle so hard, you know what I mean? Like, I come up from that game, just corks everywhere.
Yeah, because they just fly in, eh?
Just fly in.
There's no catch and wrestle or anything. It's fucking
shoulders.
Just flying. Yeah. Do you remember? Did they run on the field or anything? The crowd or anything like that?
Yeah, they did. They were just they're just crazy fans. They love the game.
Yeah.
Obviously, getting on and off the bus, is a bit of a challenge because they all want to get up and touch you and say hello. And you got the security guards trying to shoo them off. But no, it was an awesome trip. I really enjoyed that.
I would love to go and watch. I hope they bring that back. Obviously, in the current circumstances, it's hard, but I hope. I would love to go and watch that because I've never been to PNG, obviously, but also the fact that just seeing them, how much they love it, and I guess it would bring into perspective how lucky we are that we get to play this game that these guys absolutely froth on.
And I tried the beetle nut too.
Oh, did you? How'd it go? What was it like?
It's just you get a little head spin.
That's it, little head spin. I love it, eh?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. And it's just what? Just a little...
Oh, it's like if you suck back hard on a dart and just get that little head
really?
spin.
That's it? Yeah. Does it last for long?
No, it doesn't last for long.
Really?
That's why they probably just always...
Yeah, they're on it all day. Yeah. You can see their teeth in that, eh? Far out. It's strange how different cultures have different things that they froth on. Okay, so you play in the Prime Ministers, and at this stage, what's the... obviously the Rabbitohs were still struggling, but for you, are you building a lot of confidence with your own personal game because you're making that side, in a struggling side?
Yeah, I think I was. We had the end of 2005. It was it was a pretty good. I think we won about 8 of our last 10 games.
Yeah.
And I felt that momentum was going to travel into 2006.
Yep.
But that was probably one of the worst years. 2006.
Yeah, won the spoon.
Won the spoon. I think we only won 3 games that year.
Wow.
It was a tough year.
Yep.
Very tough year. I think only shining light out of that year was probably Merritt. He scored 20. He won the try scorers.
Mate, probably the best finisher of all time.
Yeah.
He's got to be.
Yeah.
Tell me another winger that in the team that was coming last, put up as many tries as he did. Like, no one. Most of the best wingers are in the best sides. Could you imagine if he was in the Roosters or the Storm and that? He'd have 100 tries a year.
He was the best. Love playing alongside Merritt. It was, you just run to the line, throw it out your ass, and he'd usually scoop it up and score.
Mate, he was so good. He was so good. Every year too, every year. So 2007, you suffer a shoulder injury, attempting to score, match-winning try in a dramatic circumstances. Sutton was ruled to have knocked on following a late attempt from Broncos Carmichael Hunt to prevent the try. Do you remember that at all?
Yeah, I do.
Walk us through the whole thing.
Well, I actually got dropped back to the bench, and only came on late in the game, and we needed a score to win. Can't remember who actually put the kick through, but I can see it in slow-mo. I thought I was a good chance of scoring, and I got my hand to the ball, but it just bounced, and then Carmichael just sat on me shoulder, and it just came straight out, and it was my first big shoulder injury, but it was probably I was more disappointed I didn't score the try.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because you would have beaten the Broncos.
The game, yeah.
2000.
It was after the bell too.
Wow.
So.
And 2007, they just won the Premiership. So if you beat them then, far out. Okay, so you qualified for the finals that year, 2007. And so that was the first time since 1989. What was that like for you as a club? And like, I know, some fans maybe, it's just the finals, but I think a lot of people don't understand how tough the road was for you boys. Like to rock up for the years that he's rocked up and to struggle, and then to finally make the finals. First time since 1989. What was the feeling like in the squad?
No, it was great.
Yeah.
First year Russell took over.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah. It was great. We had Jason Taylor was the coach, and we just had a great year. Won some good games and some tight games, and it was great to just get in the finals. The game wasn't too great. We got touched up by Manly at Brookvale.
Well, they won it that year, so it was 2007. That was Storm. Storm's right. They were in the grand final that year.
Yeah, it was great to feel the finals atmosphere, and it was good.
Well, is there any truth to the yarn from the great Brian Fletcher about Hugh Hefner, Russell Crowe, telling the boys that if you win, you go over there? What's your perspective on this?
I only heard it from Fletch as well, but I believe him.
Oh, really?
I believe him. I believe that. We were going to go to the Playboy Mansion.
So what happened? Tell us what happened. Fletch came into you guys and was like,
"Yeah, if we win, we're going to the Playboy Mansion."
And this is in the finals, like as if you win the finals game.
Yeah. So, I believed him. It would have been great.
So before that finals match against Manly?
Well, that wasn't that year.
Okay,
it was another year, but what was it? I think it was 2004.
Yeah,
I think it was.
And you come into the
let's
chamber.
go, boys! If we win, we're going to the Playboy Mansion, and
and the boys get up like, fuck yeah,
let's go. But,
oh fuck, that's great. Okay, so 2007 you qualify. 2008 though, you get selected New South Wales City Origin. Again, like you're progressing, your career continues to improve. Do you remember the phone call, or what was it like being selected for New South Wales City Origin?
I'm just trying to think. Long time ago now. I remember the camp. It was great.
Yeah.
But but I scored a try actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Yep.
Little short ball off Braith.
Yeah.
Put me over. But yeah, I didn't have the best game that game. It was, led a couple of tries in, I just remember. And,
What position you play? 5'8"
I
or
played in the back row.
back row? Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Tough days. Okay, so the next year though, you moved permanently to 5'8". What do you remember the reason for that move to the six role?
Yeah, because Chrissy Sando came in halfway through 2008.
Yep.
And JT wanted me to, partner him in the. So I played the rest of the season 2008 in the six, and trained there most of the pre-season, and started with Chris in the halves.
Were you was that something that you were really keen to do?
Yeah, it was.
Sometimes when you move position, you're like,
yeah. Well, I did that a lot my first few years. I played 5'8", back row,
yep.
blah blah blah. But I was keen to play in the six, and that's where I enjoyed most of my footy.
Yep.
And we had a great start to that year, I think, and won some good games. I thought I was playing pretty good in the six. So
yep.
Made City country that year, and
you got named for the extended squad of Origin series.
Yeah, so I think me and Terry Campese were vying for the six jersey.
Yeah.
And the City country game, I broke my hand the first 5 minutes.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, I'm not saying I would have got it, but I just didn't give myself a chance to just show what I can do, and broke my hand. And
mate, far out. Oh man. Okay. Also, is this around the time when Burgess comes, or was that around 2012 or 2000?
Sam came 2010.
2010. Okay, so we're getting close to that, which is the next year. Also, 2009, you win the George Piggins Medal as the best and fairest player. So 2010 rolls around, and obviously they signed Sam Burgess, but even though he came he came across with a lot of raps, I don't think anyone was prepared for how well he would go. It was still umming and ahhing. Do you remember feeling like there's a change about? Was it Roy? When did Roy?
Roy came 2007.
So he was kind of the start.
We had a few players starting to come to the club.
Yeah.
I haven't seen much of Sam play
before that.
I remember the first game. He hit it up on the other side of the ruck. I was on the left, and he's just made the biggest dent, like his first run. And I remember he looked to pass the ball, and I wasn't pushing up.
Yeah, okay.
And I could see him looking at me like that, and I just went, I was like, shit, I got to push up more.
Underestimated.
I mean? Yeah. And it was just, that's something that I've fuck this, he's got it all. He's got it, yeah.
Yep. Because a lot of people pointed Greg Inglis coming, and don't get me wrong, that was a huge turnaround for the club, but it was actually like Roy Asatasi come in, and obviously yourself staying, because I'm sure at any point during this time, because you started to get looked at for Origin and playing City, were you getting offers from other clubs, and if so, what made you stay at the Rabbitohs?
To be honest, not really. I think my form over the first 5 or 6 years was very inconsistent. It was very up and down. I didn't really find my groove, but 2009 I thought I had a pretty good year. 2010, Greg, Sam come along. We still had Roy.
Yeah.
Got to mention Croc. Michael Croc came through 2009 too.
Oh, okay.
So we were building a really good squad.
Yep.
2010, 2011 were very similar. We were thereabouts, but we couldn't quite crack the finals.
Yep.
And it's a bit disappointing because we had a good squad. Dave Taylor was there.
Yeah, the Coal Train.
The Coal Train, yeah. So we were building a really nice squad. Isaac Luke, he was playing some really good footy.
Yep.
But we just couldn't do it, and we just couldn't get there. So it was disappointing those 2 years where we should have been in the finals and we weren't.
And so 2012 rolls around, and you've already played 150 games by now, which is pretty incredible. But Michael Maguire gets named as coach, and he names co-captains of 5 co-captains: Crowe, Burgess, King, Asatasi. What was it? Did it take a bit to get used to Michael Maguire's approach, or?
A little bit. No, to be honest, not really. He just we just got flogged, trained hard from day one. We probably needed that.
Yeah.
We probably needed that, tough loving sort of thing. So we, we just, everyone ripped in. The 5 captains thing was a bit weird.
5
for me, yeah. I wasn't too keen on becoming a captain. It was, I was just happy to play my part.
Yeah.
And just hang in the back. But, he asked me to be one of the captains, so I just had to, take the leadership there. And, I enjoyed it, It was something I probably didn't think I'd do, but had a crack and I really enjoyed it.
Well, you had one of your better years. You win the George Piggins medal. Do you think that that he's kind of, although training extremely hard, brought the best out in you because it just forced you to be like, sometimes that can force you out of your comfort zone a little bit. I'm not sure if you were in your comfort zone at all.
Definitely, 100%.
Okay.
He sat me down before the season started and he said, look, you're 26 now.
Yeah.
You haven't really achieved much. You haven't been in the finals. And so he just put it on me and I just thought, fuck, this is it. It's now or never to, do something with my career. And, 2012 was a great year. We played really well that year and, made the prelim. Made the prelim and, Adam got a repeat set and done his hammy. With just before half time. It was a big loss. Well, I think we were in front. And, that second half, we just lost our way a bit. But all in all, it was a pretty successful year for us. I thought we had a great year, and to make it that far was great. So. And
you make the Australian training squad that year?
Well, I think it might have been, maybe I was injured to really get into the squad.
Okay. So. But you play incredibly because, you in a great year, you win the Player of the Year, best and fairest. The next year, the feeling, what's it like for you personally? Because you were there at the start when Rabbitohs were seen as a team that you could easily beat, and then you had worked all the way through the dark times to 2013 rolls around, and you guys are genuinely considered you should have a fair crack here. What's that feeling like?
Yeah, no, it was great. We're all confident.
Yep.
We had a great pre-season, come into the games and we were just, ready to go. It was just, it was such a good year. Obviously I haven't had many years like that leading up to that point, and, to be winning, being confident and to think you can, big chance this year was, so we, had a great year. I think we beat maybe Melbourne in the first semi, had a week off. And then, the Manly game to make the granny that was a tough one.
No, walk us through it.
We had a great couple of weeks, a week off, and come into that game fully confident, ready to go, and just had the best start. I scored a try. I think I scored the first try.
So I was,
and then put another try on. It was 14-0. 14-0.
It's almost like too good of a start, because it lulls you into a sense of security.
And then, it was, they scored I think they scored a try. I think Snake scored a try off Gifty's kick too, like a little grubber.
Yeah.
They went in half-time 14-6.
Yep.
Obviously very confident. I don't know what happened that second half. It was, it still haunts me today, that game, because, I felt like that was our year. I felt like it was going to all into place.
Well, a lot of people agree. They thought that. I remember being around at the time thinking this is the year Rabbitohs get the job done because you were relatively close last year.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Before I forget, so 2012 is when Greg Inglis come across, isn't it? 2012.
No, he
11.
Yeah, but he that's when he went to fullback. Okay. 2012 moved in fullback. I think 4 weeks into the comp.
Yep. Okay.
And that's where.
You just went crazy.
What
was it like? So 2011, that's when Greg Inglis comes to the club. What's that like? To me, Greg Inglis is the best outside back of all time, in my opinion. I don't get me wrong. I think Lockyer is the best fullback and 6, and you could argue Slater 6. But when you're talking about outside back that can play any position in the back line, To me, it's Greg Inglis. What was it like when he comes across and there just seems to be so much hype around what he can bring? Because another thing that a lot of people don't remember is I was at the Broncos and we had him. He was coming. We all knew, like, Greg Inglis is coming. Fuck yeah, we've signed Greg Inglis. And then we wake up one day and he's not, like, we were literally preparing our top squad for him. Like, fuck yeah, Greg GI's coming. This is going to be hectic. And then we wake up one day and everyone's wigging out because they're like, he's going to Rabbitohs, what's happening? And then it got confirmed and we were all just like, what the fuck? Yeah. What was it like when he rocks up?
Well, yeah, to me, Greg, I reckon, is the best player ever.
Incredible.
Yeah,
incredible.
Just, like you said, he can just play anywhere. He can score tries from anywhere.
No one can do what he did.
No.
Literally. Like, you know, for example, like I would look at a guy like Slater. Don't get me wrong. Slater, GOAT, fullback. Yep. But there are people that can replicate to a degree what Slater did. He just did it at a very high level all the time. Whereas I just think that, like, GI, outside of maybe Trell, but GI obviously did it over a full career. I just don't see anyone else replicating
he could run
that.
around you, score a try, run over you, score a try.
He could ball play.
He had a silky hands as well.
Yeah.
But that was massive for us, getting Greg there. He didn't turn up to in tip-top shape.
He's a big boy. I remember that, like, his first game, people were going, like, he was a skinny fella down in Storm, and he was massive.
It was weird. They his first session back, he must have had a couple of injuries, a couple of surgeries. They put a sled on him. I remember they put a sled on him, and he was walking around Redfern with a sled, and I'm just going, what's going on here? That's like my first impression of seeing him at the club.
Just walking around
with a sled on.
Arguably the greatest player of all time, and he's just like
floating along, outside the oval.
What was funny. Was he like making jokes about? You know how the boys give each other shit, and that was he laughing about it, or
he was having a bit of a laugh, but it was just weird to seeing Greg walking around with a sled on.
Fuck, how good. But did you, once he gets moving, and did you immediately feel his presence?
Yeah, of course. It took him a few games that year, but once he touches the ball, and things just happen. He's got a massive boot. I remember Langy saying, first set of the game, we'll just go 4 up the guts, and we'll just get Greg to put up one of his massive bombs, because he used to do these massive bombs. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. Bomb went so high. Yep. They knocked it on. It was like, yes, it worked.
First game. So simple. And he's, what can he do? What can he do?
So, as he, next couple of years, he got fitter, and he was just damaging us when he went to fullback. It was, it was a master stroke from Magic getting back there.
Mate, honestly, like, it's like when you look at like a Latrell now, like, people don't understand how, not scary because no team's scared, but how frustrating is it as a team that you can have the perfect kick chase line, but you have to constantly worry that he's about to run the length of the field because he can bump 3 people and go the length. And a lot of fullbacks can't do that because they're not that big. Whereas Greg Inglis is like the strength of a front rower, literally. Like, I'm sure you've got many stories of him in wrestling throwing people about. But he's the speed of a small...
Exactly.
Do you have any memories of him in wrestling going skits? When they flip the switch and they
he just used to throw people off. Yeah. When you do like 3-on-1 drill, where he'd run the ball, he'd never go down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He would just throw people off, and
mate,
everyone's like, "Fuck, Greg,
relax, bro. Gentleman's agreement, bro."
But it was awesome to play alongside Greggy. He was, just being out there watching him do his thing. It was great.
Okay, so 2013, you get bounced out by Manly, and I think that even externally, you could feel South's pain of like, fuck, that was our opportunity. And also to watch Rabbitohs lift the trophy that year, I'm sure you're sitting there going, if there's any team that could have won it, not the fucking Roosters. But then 2014 rolls around, you shift back to lock, and then Luke Keary comes in, who is just such a good player. When you shifted back to lock, was that a welcome change, or did you not want to move back to lock?
Well, I've never really played there before in the middle. Having Luke, he had a great end to the 2013 season, but he done his pec in the 9s, so it was pretty shattering for him. He's better have like a great year. So I went to lock and D Walks, he went to 5'8" for the first few games. But I remember my first game against the Roosters, I was fucked. I was fucked. I lasted 20-odd minutes. They pulled me off. It was just a different ball game in the middle there.
Yeah.
And then I think that only lasted 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
I was like, I went to match. I'm over this.
Yeah.
Get me back on the edge.
Yeah.
And, so I think we lost our first 3 out of the first 5 games.
No.
It was just like, fucking hell, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then I think it was around 5 or 6. I think I played my... I just went past Bobby McCarthy. It was that game.
Yep.
And I went back to 6. And we got the win there. So
212 matches.
Yeah.
Most capped player in Rabbitohs history.
So I was just happy to be back in the 6 jersey and I played most of the year in the 6.
Yep.
Until Luke came back. I hurt my knee. I hurt my knee about 5-6 games out. And Luke came in and he was just killing it.
Yep.
He was playing that good. So Madge was saying, look, going to leave Luke there. Want to go to the back row? And I was like, yeah, sweet. So I played edge back row. And, that's where I just stayed pretty much. I enjoyed it there.
Yeah.
And, I striked up a good combination with Luke. And, it was a good rest of the year that year. And
It was a great rest of the year.
Yeah.
So what's that like? I mean, did you feel the pressure of you guys are a foundation club and it's been so long, but here it is, you're in a grand final. Did you feel that pressure or not really? It was business as usual for you?
Not really. I think everyone was pretty relaxed and, we had some great leaders in that squad. And, the other thing was Sam was leaving at the end of the year and Benny Teo was leaving.
Yep.
So there was a lot to play for. And I remember the grand final week, it was just relaxed. Madge said, just go enjoy the week. Don't worry about the game. And I've just felt like everyone took that on board and, we really enjoyed it. And
Were you captain at this stage too?
Yeah. It was my first, full year of captain, which I loved it. I loved it. Like I said, it didn't come natural to me at the start, but, that week, 14 rolled around and really enjoyed it. So.
And so, walk us through that grand final, bro. You're running out with the famous red and green. You're the captain, leading the boys out to that. What do you remember from it?
Everything was great from that day.
Yeah.
I remember it was a bit hot, but it was just such a nice day. And everyone was very relaxed. And, I got nervous walking down the tunnel. Yeah. Sam and Greg are standing behind me, and Sam's always saying something that's getting me pumped up.
Get the boys up. Yeah.
And, it was just awesome to lead the boys out and, seeing a packed stadium. I think there was 80,000 people there. Yeah. Yeah, it was great. And, it was just, as soon as you run out, I was just on. Sam actually, he broke his face. And I actually didn't even know he broke his face, I think, like half time.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Because he just got on with it.
Yeah. At the start of the game, Renault went to roll a kick in and it ricocheted or something, and then they ended up knocking it on. Yeah. And Sam turned to me to say something like about his face, but I sort of just brushed him because I wanted to spray Renault. I was like, fuck, you got to get them fucking kicks in the in-goal, you know what I mean?
Yeah, bloody oath, yeah.
And then, like, on the footage, you see Sam grab Greg, and he's like, fuck, you got to help me here.
Yeah, I'm fucked.
And, so it's amazing what he did.
Yeah.
Obviously went in the half time and fucking everyone could see his face was fucked, but it didn't really bother him. Yeah. It's just a machine. And just
as a captain, what are you thinking in that? Like when you see that and he's a key player and think, what's your thoughts as a captain? You just like, mate, just find a way.
Well, I was, Sam's always been a leader to me. You know what I mean? He's the way he can talk to the team and get everyone up. I've always find him as an inspiration to myself. So I just was semi-following his leader. You know what I mean? He's got a broken face and he's still doing it. So everyone just jumped on. And
so you kind of feel like it galvanised the boys to see, like, Sammy's hurting. He's still in this, boy. So we've got no excuse to be, cutting corners or whatever.
Yeah. I just think, that whole game, we just knew what we did. We just got to keep completing. Because we had the big forward pack and we just used to roll on down the middle usually, and then Adam used to kick us in corners. So we didn't really have a fancy game plan, but it worked for us. And
So when GI goes over, is that when you know you've won it? When the goalie's just getting done in the corner there?
Yeah, it was probably the try before. Yeah, I think. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, when Adam scored.
Yeah.
So Sommy scored in the corner. Renault kicked the goal up by 14. Then we rolled down. Actually, I kicked it, and I thought I was going to get it. There was no fullback. I was about to have a run, and Renault was going, kick it. So I kicked it, and then it bounced back towards me. I was like, oh, here it is. And Adam's just come from nowhere and just got it. And,
what a
it
dog.
was the best. It was the best part.
He snuck your try.
Yeah. No, I just remember there was all the Doggies fans over there, and I remember I just jumped the fence, and I was just like, yeah.
Yeah, how good. How good.
So, after the end, we went up by 20 then.
Yeah.
So,
like the siren goes, and what's that feeling like? Think of this young kid from the area, I think you captained your team to a victory first time in forever.
It was, it was the best. I think, when Greg scored in the corner and we're just, stacking on.
Yeah.
I remember just catching myself looking up, just going, fuck, I've done it. This is it. I've done it. Yeah. I've been waiting so long to do it, and be able to captain and do it it was amazing for myself.
And what was the celebrations like after?
Yeah, they were good. We had a good week.
Yep.
A good week of being together with the boys, and the Friday was our prezzo.
Yep.
So it all the days just got better and better, and then Friday rolled around and it was a presentation, and it was amazing.
Yeah, good. Were you there when was it Dylan Walker that lost his ring?
Yeah.
Were you there when that happened?
Yeah, I was literally right there.
What did he do?
Oh, yeah, I don't know how it came off, but he was just like, fuck, he's dead.
Was he dancing or something, or what was he doing? How does it fly into?
I remember him just going like, he doesn't have it, I was just like, fuck. He was sad, and I was just like, it was weird. And I remember just going, have mine. We'll get another one, who cares,
Who cares, yeah, because you just charge and love and lie.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Mate, how good's that? Okay, so the next year, though, 20th January, it's announced that GI is going to be the captain. Walk us through that. There was an incident with Luke Burgess or in Arizona? Walk us through what happened there.
Yeah, so we went. It was like 5.5 weeks after we won the comp.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't in the best headspace to go back to training, but went to Arizona. Had a good training camp, and the last night we had a drink on. We had a bit of a drink on, and I just didn't go home, and I should have went home, and just got myself in a bit of trouble, and spend the night in the prison.
Was it just for like
drunk, being drunk and disorderly?
Okay.
So and then that was a tough one. I had to walk back in the hotel to see Madge. It was like 11 or 12 o'clock in the day.
Yep.
And everyone was like, "Where the fuck are they?"
Yep.
Yeah, and I just told them what happened, and obviously I had to tell the integrity unit and all that stuff, and so got in trouble off the club, and we sorted it all out. We sorted, everything was all sorted. So, but I sat down with Madge, and he said I wasn't going to be captain anymore, and that was pretty devastating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coming off a grand final win, and it was like my first year. My first year as captain, really. Yeah. First full season. So, I was devastated. That I lost the captaincy, but it was my own wrongdoing, so I couldn't really complain about it. And then, Greg gets named captain, and then next thing, all the media's chasing to see what happened, and they end up finding what had happened, and there's footage of me in handcuffs and stuff like that. But it was just hard at that time because I already sorted it out with NRL and the club, and then for it to 2 months later be brought back in with the media, it was just the mugshot was everywhere.
Yep.
And
Far out. Oh, man,
So,
it sucks. It sucks.
It's a good mug shot.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. It's a good mug shot, but
at least
yeah,
it's a good
no,
mug
just
shot.
seeing my mum and dad seeing it blasted all over the papers.
Sucks, man. And it was purely just drunk and disorderly, like just.
Well, my charge was
Yeah. Okay. Far out.
Yeah.
That sucks, man. That absolutely sucks. And then, like,
you know what? It probably took me a while to get over that.
Yeah.
It probably took me fucking a while to get over that.
Yeah, and what would to get over maybe the embarrassment, or what do you think was what was the hardest thing to kind of process for you?
Yeah, we're just losing the captaincy first, as coming off the grand final. It was like 7 weeks later I lost it, so that was tough. And then obviously when it come out in the media, just having my mugshot everywhere.
Yeah.
Just tough on seeing my mum and dad,
Absolutely.
really, sad that, I did this sort of thing. But
yeah,
so all of that sort of stuff had just weighed on me, and it just took me a while to get over it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can only imagine, especially like obviously, you're stuffed up, but it's not like, did you really do something as I'm sure the media made it sound way worse than it probably was, and as you said, like it's already been sorted internally. You've copped your punishment, you've copped everything you've needed to cop, and the club's happy, the NRL's happy, and then all of a sudden you've got to copy the punishment again from it. It's already done. So that would be very, very tough to deal with. So that season, you end up getting a broken leg. So it's like just a tough year for you.
Yeah. So halfway through the season, I did me bicep. So I stuffed my bicep up, and I got the surgery. I would have missed the rest of the year. Obviously didn't get the surgery, and then a month later I broke my leg. So I was just like, fuck, can't take a break here.
Yeah.
I would have liked to got that fixed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But so that was just a disappointing year for me.
Yeah.
It was just, nothing went right.
And so the next few years, it's kind of like then you tear your pec. Is it that next year?
So, got back, I felt after my leg, I felt really good. First game, that's 2 minutes ago in the first game, tore my pec.
Oh, my God. You had such a long career, like injury-free pretty much.
Yeah.
And then fucking when it rains, it pours. And so then in 2018, you become the first Rabbitohs player to reach 300 games, and only the 32nd person in history at the time. What's that? Again, what's that? Did you... I'm sure, like as a kid, I'm sure you never thought this would happen, but when you take yourself back to being a kid and thinking about how far you'd come, does it just blow your mind?
Yeah, it does. It hasn't really sunk in, really, that I've played so many games for the club. I don't know, everyone's like, played some, and it was just like, it doesn't really sink in with me that I've done that. So, it was just, it was awesome to notch up 300. We didn't have the win, but 2018 season, I had a great year. I thought I had a really good year. We're just one game away from the granny.
Yeah.
But obviously I was getting towards the back end of my career, so I really wanted to make those last years work, and it didn't pan out that way. But I'm very grateful of being able to stay at the club I loved and play so many games for them.
Yeah. And so 2019, you announced that you would retire at the end of the season. When did you make that decision, do you think, where you're like, you know what, this is the time to go?
It's probably about, first half of the year. I just didn't think I was playing good enough footy. I think, I had the team were there. They're always going to, support, they're always going to, if I'm in the side, they can rely on me.
Yep.
But I thought I just couldn't, rely on myself. I just thought I wasn't playing enough good footy.
Yep.
And I just thought it was time to hang the boots up.
Did you ever consider Super League? It's like you're still playing NRL level footy,
Yeah, you know what? I wish I did now.
Yeah.
But, I don't know why.
I think you get to a point where you're just so over the training, you're so tired and
it would
sore.
have been a bit of that. But after I retired, because my job was being with the first grade, doing a bit of coaching and stuff with them. Fuck, I just wanted to play again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. When you see the boys getting all kit up and that, and you're like,
you're like, fuck.
I want to get out there.
Because I run the water for the team, I get to stand behind and just see what's going on, and it's like, fuck, wish I could still do it.
Mate, 100%. 100%.
I actually played a game this year. I actually had a run, but I didn't do any training. I thought I could just walk into an A grade game and be able to do it, and I just...
How'd you go?
It wasn't... I had a shocker. It was just... I was fucking sore for weeks, had a black eye.
Yeah.
We got beat by 40 odds, so I was just like, fuck.
Nah. You've got to condition yourself.
Yeah,
You've got to condition yourself,
I just... I did a lot of surfing. I lost a lot of weight, and I just... just every time I try to make a tackle, it was just like, oh.
Mate, I'm feeling it. Trust me, I'm fucking terrible at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so you announced your retirement, and then what's the next few years for you? Do you go immediately into the coaching staff after the next year, or did you have a bit of a break?
I just went into running the blue shirt.
Yep.
So the club been great. They've just eased me into it. I haven't had too much on my plate. But it's weird times, like not being like just not playing anymore.
Yeah.
Obviously I did it for so long, and I'm still a little bit struggling that I'm not playing anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a bit weird, but the club have been great to me, and obviously I've got a good job now working with SG Ball.
Yeah.
So just looking forward to the next stage of my life, and who knows, maybe coaching, head coaching.
Yeah.
One day at the club.
So that's something you aspire to, hopefully?
At the moment, I don't know. I see a lot of see the coaches, it looks so stressful. But maybe I want to be assistant one day for the club, and that's probably my path.
Yep.
Assistant coach at South.
Who knows? You could become the assistant and then grow into that role.
Yeah,
kind of like
exactly.
captaincy. You never thought you were going to be a captain.
Yeah.
And then you fucking captain your team to a premiership.
Yeah.
And so it's tough, man. That the years when after you quit, because you identify as a rugby league player. Like if I'm not a footy player, then like what am I? Like I'm just fucking like what am I? I don't know. Whereas I think the people that don't play NRL, they've already come. They don't identify with that. They're like, no, there's plenty of other stuff to enjoy or do or pursue But footy players, that's all we know.
Exactly, that's all I've ever known, and it's just weird just not being able to do it anymore. But I'm definitely looking forward to this coaching thing.
Yeah, very lucky that you got to stay in the system. Yeah, like stay in with the boys. Man, the hardest thing for me was like when you just get ripped out.
Yeah,
you don't get to see them no more. You don't get to talk to them no more. But so I ask all the boys this favourite. Actually, sorry, was there ever a time when you considered leaving the Rabbitohs? Like when you had a good offer from another team?
Yeah, I think after the 2013.
Yeah.
I was coming off contract, and I think maybe Penrith. I was thinking about going there.
Yeah.
But so the money wasn't as good as Penrith, but South, I get to say the club I love, and it was a 4-year deal, so it wasn't too hard for me to knock that deal back and stay with South.
So the South deal was less money than the Penrith deal?
Yeah.
Substantially less?
It was. Yeah.
It's that's the thing. Like a lot of fans, like they don't hear. Not that you're sitting there going, "Oh, I was loyal," or whatever. But they often don't hear that a lot of players like yourself knock back bigger contracts all the time because you love the club and you want to be a one club player. That's interesting. You were Penny Panthers, boys out west.
Well, I'm glad I stayed. We won the comp next year.
Mate, could you imagine? Right, and you got the okay. Ask all the boys this, bro. Favorite rapper of all time.
Favorite rapper?
Yeah.
Because it's probably Tupac.
Tupac,
yeah. But I've been, it's weird seeing all these new rappers. They all sound the same.
Yeah, they do. They're all auto-tune.
Always rapping about just money and their jewelry.
Yeah, it is 100%.
I mean, it's just
100%.
They all do the same thing. But
the good thing about Tupac is he was talking about real stuff. Stuff that you could relate to and think about, or at least like it's even if I couldn't relate to it, at least I could see the struggle and feel it.
Exactly.
Whereas like now, you're right. It's like women and money. That's it. Favorite movie of all time?
Probably Kill Bill.
Kill Bill?
Yeah, I love Kill
That
Bill.
is a great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie. Is there any young guns at the Rabbitohs that you're tipping for a big year next year?
Well, you've seen Taffy,
Yep.
Blakey Taff. Probably expecting big things from Lockie, the little halfback Lockie Ilias.
Yeah, okay.
He had one run against the Dragons.
Yep.
He played really well. So, a good pre-season under his belt, and he might be maybe partnering Cage in the half.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Did you get one season under Wayne, or did he come?
Yeah, 19.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
was that like? Meeting Wayne, and it's probably the first time you've been under him.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Very
obviously-
different to the outside persona, eh? That
Yes, yeah. So no one gets to see the other side of Wayne. It was just, it was great. He was being great for me, with my, my next part of my life and my journey, my coaching and stuff. We had some good chats about all that stuff, and no, it was great to have him at the club, and very happy that he came, and I wish we could have kept him for longer.
Yeah,
but, maybe I can get a start with him up Redcliffe one day.
Hey, who knows? Next coach, next Redcliffe coach. Mate, thank you so much for coming on, brother. I really do appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll stay in contact.
Cheers. Thanks for having us.
Boom.